McAlpin.
Are We Alone? Starting Monday on News 5 at 11.
Last week, week 3 of Hudipol's King of Bowling took us to the Super Bowl in Erlanger, Kentucky. On the left, Don Scudder. On the right, Butch Temke. And it was all Scudder in this match, 227 to 222. Scudder moves on to game number 2 against a first-timer on the TV King, Jim Beckler. Well, Beckler with 2 open frames in the early going, and Scudder just jumped on that to bury him, 197 to 169, putting Scudder in the championship match against the King for the 3rd week, Kim Herman. And Herman, for 3 weeks running, equal to the task, and the big left-hander just put it away, 267 to 188 to win the King in week 3 on Hudipol's TV King of Bowling. Hi everybody, and welcome to week 4 of Hudipol's TV King of Bowling. I'm Tom Verrato. This week in Delhi, we're at Del Fair Lanes in Beau Hudipol. These look like finely groomed lanes.
They certainly are. They have 34 beautiful AMF lanes here. Last week we had one fantastic week of qualifying.
They really got a workout, didn't they?
They certainly did. We had a record number of entries also for this center.
And Dave Newrath, they rolled some pretty high scores last week, and 2 of the highest made it here today. Greg Lothian against Dave Moses.
We've got some revs on the show today, Tom. I mean to tell you, I've bowled with both of these people from time to time. Greg Lothian, one of the young lions, as we call the young guys on the tour here, throws the ball about as well as you could ever hope. Deep knee bend, gets through the ball as strong as ever. Super crank.
Now, we saw Greg last year, but Dave Moses we haven't seen a little bit.
You're going to see something. If you think Greg throws the ball with some revolutions, Mr. Moses will really twirl him up. I crossed with him last week, just throws a 5-pin dead left every shot.
Now, when are we going to get a chance to see you on this TV King?
Let's get into this telecast and then we'll talk about it. Pretty soon. I'm starting to throw the ball better.
I like the way he hedges. So we're at week 4 of the King of TV Bowling, and when we come back, we'll get it started to see how we go from Del Fair Lanes.
Hudipol, King of Bowling. Brought to you by the Hudipol Brewing Company, America's great small brewery.
One of the great traditions of Cincinnati is the Hudipol Brewing Company. The Hudipol Brewery has been part of the Ohio Valley landscape for over a century. Today, Hudipol is one of the few remaining small breweries in America. One of the last representatives of a proud tradition that was concerned with quality rather than volume, with character rather than mass appeal, with taste rather than formula, with a brewer rather than a chemist. Hudi is part of the warmth and spirit of Cincinnati. It is Riverfest. It is sports. It is long summer days. It is spring, summer, fall, and winter. Hudipol is the Cincinnati way of enjoying things. Hudipol is fine beers, Christian Moorline, Hudi Gold, Hudi Delight, the better beers of Hudipol from one of the last of this nation's fine hometown breweries. Hudipol, America's great small brewery.
Just another testimonial for Grippo potato chips.
Gonna get the job done in the blazing sun. Me and the guys in the crew. What are we gonna do? And when my thirst is at its limit, it's Mountain Dew. Do it, Mountain Dew. Do it, so cool and smooth. When I got a thirst, you're undisputed, Do it, Mountain Dew.
There you see David Allen Moses. Game number 1 here from Delfair Lanes, week 4, Hudipol's King of TV Bowling. And for the 4th straight week, Dave Newrath and Bo Hudipol, we start off with 10 pins in the pit.
Oh, you're going to see a lot of that today, Tom. That man right there throws as strong a ball as you could hope for.
A couple of babes this week. 23-year-old David Moses, 22-year-old Greg Lothian. Greg we saw last year up at Pinhouse Lanes, as you call him, one of the young lions, and that looks like a pretty good ball, Dave.
Mr. Kim Herman's crowd is going to be rivaled here a little bit today. We got what do we have today? Lothian's
Lions.
Come on, come up with
Lothian's
something
Lions.
here. You're good at these.
Herman's Hermits and Lothian's Lions. And while Bo did mention last week that the official term of Herman's following were the herd, I still like the Hermits, and I think so does Kim Herman.
That's right, and I
so
think your hat is beautiful.
The unofficial name will be Herman's Hermits on the air.
That's great.
Okay, Lothian leaving the 10 pin.
I tell you what, neither bowler throws a stronger ball than the other, but they're a little different. Greg, a little more speed, and we're going to see here why the little more speed could possibly get him in trouble. The deflection. Right here, if we get a shot at the ball entering the pins, right there you see a little deflection to the right and the 10 pin just wobbling.
No longer does it wobble, it's in the pit. So Greg Lothian picks up the spare in his 2nd frame here in game number 1. David Allen Moses, 23-year-old from a Kentucky post carrier from Covington, Kentucky. 205 average and 1/300 game to his credit. And he's 11 strikes away from another one. Here on the TV King.
Make it 10. Bo, he's been doing fairly well in the qualifiers. I know I crossed with him last week, and he was just awesome. That's about the only word I can come up with. How's he been doing from week to week?
He's had cashers every week. He's had an opportunity to bowl pretty much, and he has been really in the top almost every week, I'd say.
Yeah, a lot of people at home, it's not just the people you see on the air each and every week. You can make a little bit of spending change out there from week to week, Bo. What is it, 1 out of 6 cash?
1 out of every 4. 1 out of 4 cash.
1 out of...
How about
Here's
the
a man that's going to cash.
Yes. Mix on those pins were nice, as Dave Newrath likes to say. Every pin doing their job.
Gee, I love the way you say that, Tom.
Well, the profound words. Greg Lothian, 22 years old, sales manager from Ball Shops. 4 300 games to his credit. He's been a one-time king on the TV King. Appeared once last year. Looks like he wants to appear a few more times this year.
That is absolutely great. Both bowlers right in the pocket every shot. Greg making a slight mistake in his release in the 2nd frame. Otherwise, we'd be all tied up. As it is, Mr. Moses enjoys a 20-pin early lead.
Winner of this match, the Lothian-Moses match, goes on to meet Roy Chesbro, another first-timer on the TV King, and then goes on to meet the winner, our only winner this year, 3 games, 3 wins, Kim Herman's Hermits Herman. How about that?
Well,
how about that?
How about that? It's a 2, 4, 5, 8. The ball just did not finish, Tom. Left lane might have something to do with it. The extra revs that Mr. Moses gets can overpower some of the extra hold area. But Greg, both shots, 1 deflected weak. That ball did not get up. The 2, 4, 5, 8 difficult spare for most people.
4 right in the middle of that. Bo, we see the score. Nothing but strikes up there for Mr. Moses.
20 pins. It's early, and 20 pins really isn't a lot to talk about, but it is in this man's advantage. David Moses would like to make it 30.
Oh, missed that one just a hair, Dave.
Ooh. He got a little anxious. Wanted to get up there and really put the hammer down on Mr. Lothian. And he, quite frankly, just threw the ball too hard, that's all.
17-year veteran of these lanes.
He's been bowling in our qualifiers for 6 years now, and so he is a veteran in the qualifiers, too.
After a while, I don't even think the lights bother you, although this is his first time on television for David Allen Moses. Can never think too far ahead, Bo, and they're already qualifying for next week, right?
They certainly are. We're at Kingpin Lanes today, and we have some leaders. Roy Chesbro, who is going to bowl in our second match, is leading the pack with Kevin Hayes, who appeared a few weeks ago with the 724 series. Rick Martin, who used to be executive director of the BPA some years ago, has a 702, is sitting third. 599's cashing for the men, and we have a new lady, Sue Decatur, has a 569 series leading the women, and 549's cashing for the girls.
Always nice to see new people on there. How about this one, Dave?
Watch this shot. Absolutely awesome. The 9-pin, second one in the back. The ball's going to go to the left. Watch the reaction right here. The ball just misses the 9-pin. David says, what in the world do you have to do around here?
Takes it out on the right side. Not enough menthol on that first ball, Dave. Oh, they are up and on their feet for Greg Lothian.
Well, we've got a great crowd here today. It's we've packed them in here. Del Fair has traditionally been a good house to bring the crowds out, but today better than usual.
34 lanes, 2 of them really getting a workout today. Greg Lothian in frame number 5. Strike, spare, strike, spare, strike. It looks like a pattern for Greg Lothian here in the 5th frame.
Well, that's what you're going to see a lot of times. The bowlers, and during the qualifiers too, we should explain that we move from pair to pair. You do not bowl all 3 games on the same pair as you do in league. You move, and the bowler who makes the adjustment the quickest, moving from pair to pair, normally throws the higher score. Greg Lothian better make an adjustment on this left lane right now if he wants to give David Moses any kind of a shot at all. He's 17 pins in the well.
Try to take a little niche out of that right here. Oh,
make it 7.
Just another day at the office. Lothian, by the way, if you happen to watch Steve Cook win the U.S. Open yesterday, Lothian last year finished 26th, which is not too shabby. Because let me tell you, there were quite a few Cincinnati bowlers, which made me proud this week down there.
Yeah, Mr. Scudder for one.
This is going to go right to the wire.
Oh, you can bet your bottom dollar.
That's about as clean as you can say it on TV.
The match, 7 pins right now. Moses can increase his lead back up to 17 if he strikes again. But anything less than 10 pins, less than a mark count, becomes the situation. Greg Lothian is finally lined up on the left lane. David Moses looks lined up all over.
Boy, he doesn't give those pins a chance. And he said right there, in your face, pins.
Well, Mr. Moses gets an excited look on his face. He wants, look at the bottom of the swing. He just went for all of it. Now, head pin, center your screen. What's it do? Straight back. Throws the 2-pin into the wall this time to do the damage. Greg Lothian's got to get on the truck right here. 17 pins.
I have a feeling even if his ball were to go in the channel, the wind would knock the 10 pins down. Here's Lothian, 6th frame.
Absolutely great. What a match.
3 straight for Greg Lothian.
The lead cut again back to 7 pins. Greg Lothian can technically take an advantage here by striking in the 8th frame, can go into the lead by 3. But remember, it's been the lane he just got lined up on. Can he execute again? The big question. He is concentrating. He really, really wants this shot. First time in the match, he's got a chance to lead, Tom.
8th frame, Greg Lothian. Oh, couldn't get that 1 pin to roll across.
Too much deflection on the ball, but he's still in the match going in. The critical 9th and 10th frames coming up. That's where it's normally decided on BPA King of Bowling.
Last week, I mentioned we saw Greg Lothian in the pin house with Greg Carpenter and Tucky Perez. How about a week that one was? A lot of pinfall then. Lothian takes out the 10 in the 8th frame. And Dave, this gets closer and closer. It hinges on David Moses here. If he could put 10 in the pit, who knows?
Well, you're talking 8 pins up there right now, and 8 pins is next to nothing.
Push, just wouldn't go. The 7-pin stands.
Oh, I'm telling you, watching him last week when I qualified with him, that was the hit that was his bread and butter shot. He seems to be losing that hit a little bit today.
He usually throws the 5-pin a little stronger over towards the 7, doesn't he?
There you go. The opponent, the 7-pin.
7-pin.
The competitor, David Moses. No contest.
It's over.
Of course, it's over is right.
Of course, we wouldn't be coming to you if we didn't have a gracious sponsor like Hudipole, and we have some of those sponsors taking a look here at Del Fair, Bo.
We certainly do. Bob Casey, Al Chesbro, and Ken Rippinger are here from the Hudipole Brewery, and our friend Nancy Schreiber and her husband were kindly here early this morning to deliver some of the nice sponsor gifts that they're giving out at the show.
I notice there's always a line to receive sponsored gifts.
There certainly is. It's really a nice addition to the audience.
It certainly
this year.
is. There's Dave Moses. Another strike.
I tell you what, this is the ball. Okay, 5-pin, center your screen, second one back, watch it. This pin develops teeth. Left, you betcha, right there it touches, and the 5-pin, right there into the 7, no contest. The critical 9th frame strike keeps David Moses in the lead.
Greg Lothian says he's not going to let it get away.
Through his first bad shot of the match, he needed it, critical 9th frame to cut the lead down. What's he do? He throws the ball through the nose, fortunate enough to break down the split, leaving a 6. Should shoot this cross lane, flatten the ball out a little bit, and let your arm swing, take the ball right at the pin.
And he did.
Textbook.
Textbook, what Dave Nuraz says. A spare in the 9th frame for Greg Lothian.
We had some fantastic scores last week here at Del Fair Lanes. I'll run them down real quick. The 5th position was Alan Downs with 724.
He was our king weeks 1 and 2 last year.
He did a super job. 716 for Bob Ecton. Derek Hayes, 707. We got a bunch of 700s up there. There you go.
There's 10. 10th frame.
Okay, this is it. 9th frame is critical, but so is this. If he gets a double here, he can come up and take the lead. He rolls the ball well, skids out a little bit longer than what he anticipated, but it finishes hard. Head pin going to the wall, kicking the 4 into the 5, and then finishing out the 7. This is it. Critical shot.
22-year-old Greg Lothian from Reading, Ohio.
He can take the lead with this strike.
Dave, when you talked about revs, you weren't kidding one little bit.
I mean to tell you, well, what this does, this absolutely forces David Moses to throw the first one in the 10th to win. A count is critical here, however. Greg Lothian needs them all.
As David Moses can do nothing right now but watch and decide how he's going to bowl when he gets up there. Oh, how about that? Crushing them. Not just knocking the pins down, but crushing them. Greg Lothian. So you want to set this one up? What does David Moses have to do, Dave?
Gee, let me check. How about throw 10 pins
times
in a vertical position? Yes. Absolutely has to have this strike for any chance of winning.
228 for Lothian.
It's wide.
Well,
if you're going to make a mistake there, Tom, let me point out, that is less of a mistake, if you want to look at it that way, than throwing a ball right through the nose. With David Moses' power, he has a chance to bring the ball back. That time, it didn't work out. Next time, he probably won't throw it as wide.
Right. Takes out 2 of the 3 and puts the handwriting on the wall for Greg Lothian. Greg Lothian comes out a winner in game number 1. Here in week number 4 of Hudipole's TV King of Bowling. And as you see the score, 228, 214 in favor of Greg Lothian. We move into game number 2. When we come back, Lothian takes on Roy Chesbro in game 2 on the Hudipole King of Bowling.
This small drop of liquid is a dedicated brewmaster's work of art. It reflects a fine select beer brewed with the care, patience, and pride only a small brewery can provide. Longer brewing time and dedication to excellence mean Christian Moerlein may cost a little more, but the price is small for the unique experience of Christian Moerlein. Christian Moerlein, quite simply, a better beer.
All you gotta do is think refreshment. And you can move that can right into your hand. Come on, concentrate.
Nothing.
Think harder.
Think big refreshment. Can't you taste it?
Yeah, it's not happening. I'll take a break.
Oh, Kravitz, could you think down?
It's the solid old tipper for 86.
And here's another big hit from your reliable man of bowls.
Having some kind of fun getting round in a Cutlass Sierra.
Now with 7.9 Cutlass Sierra.
Oldsmobile.
Your reliable man of bowls are busting the charts once again with another hit. Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Buy one with 7.9% GMAC financing and save. 7.9 on Cutlass Sierra now through February 22nd.
It's the solid old tipper.
At your reliable man of bowls.
How do I show what makes Hewdy Delight one of the best light beers in America? That's a tough one. I wish I could show all the care that goes into the brewing. How Delight is specially crafted. A whole lot less calories. Kept its own unique beer taste. Taste. Boy, I could do it the Delight right now. Refreshing, sparkling delight. Here it comes. Ah, to the pure delight of Hewdy Delight.
A great light beer from America's great small brewery.
Last week, Delfair Lanes, 694. Linda Lally, great shooting, sister of Nancy. How are you today?
Fine, Dave.
You did super last week, 694. You've had a 300. You've had sevens before, correct?
One.
This was one?
Yes.
Well, what stopped you last week? You were well on your way.
I didn't even know I was that close until at the very end when I shot 258. I found out I shot 694, and I didn't even know I was that close.
Oh, that's great. That's the way you're supposed to do it. On behalf of the BPA, $200 and a nice plaque, and you just beat out your sister. Way to go.
Thanks, Dave.
And this week, we're back at Delfair for the championship. Tom Verrato, Dave Newrath, and Bo Hudipole, glad to be bringing with you week number 4 on TV, King of Bowling, sponsored by Hudipole, brought to you by Channel 5. We're at game number 2. Greg Lothian, who won the first game, against Roy Chesbro. And Dave, how about revs for Roy Chesbro?
Oh, that's what we call him, Mr. Revs. Roy does to a ball what no human being should do to an inanimate object. He makes it dizzy.
He practices a lot, though.
Well, Roy's been a great bowler for years, and just recently he's lost a lot of weight, which straightened out his arm swing. He's been practicing. He's been practicing to beat the band, and it is really showing off.
Greg Lothian, though, says if you want to win this game, Roy, you're going to have to take shots like this and make better ones.
Hey, Roy's been there before, though. Roy is a great match play bowler.
39-year-old mechanical engineer. And 10 in the pit to start off with Roy Chesbro.
Engineered a nice start to this match. That's about as straight as I've ever seen Roy throw one. I think a lot of the butterflies were on that shot. That was as straight as a string. We're going to see Roy bending them around the corner here before long, but as long as there's 10 in the pit, who cares?
13 300 games for this man. 3 in 4 days. How do you figure that one?
When you're hot, you're hot. What can I say? There you saw a shot right there. Roy Chesbro is throwing the ball as well as anyone can. His first shot, uncharacteristic of his game, dead straight. That shot, he goes Brooklyn. The camera has affected this man. It's official.
He was squeezing the ball.
He squeezed the ball a little too much.
So we have a spare here for Mr. Chesbro.
You know what else it might be, too? I just thought of it. The sound you hear periodically down the concourse of the bowlers loosening up. Roy was just doing that before this match. Possibly those lanes were a lot tighter than the television pair.
Well, Greg
a little
Lothian.
shake and bake didn't work that time, Tom.
Couldn't get it mixed up there.
Yeah, the warm-up pair, they try to condition them identically, but without the lights on them and without the frequency of the balls being thrown, there's a good possibility that it's tighter. I'll ask Roy after this match.
Oh. If there wasn't that extra coat of wax on that pin.
I tell you what, you normally don't want to take another look at a one-pin replay, but let's take a look. How close is it? How about a quarter of an inch? Let's take a look.
Dave, you slice meat that thin, you'll starve. I'll tell you what.
You betcha. Greg Lothian, a good spare shooter, always plugging away, just gets to that shot. Let's see if he can regroup. There you go. There you go.
Oh, with authority. No doubt in anyone's mind here at Delfair Lanes that 10 pins were taking a dive on that one. Roy Chesbro, third frame. These are real nice lanes, Bo, and Shirley Schroeder.
Shirley Schroeder.
Schroeder.
Yeah,
she's responsible for that, general manager.
She is. You know, Shirley is one of the all-time greats in Cincinnati. She bowled on the TV show the very first year that ladies were allowed to bowl back in 1970 against Eddie Jackson. Everybody remember that one?
Oh, yeah. They've come a long way. They've come a long way since then.
Eddie, one of the greatest bowlers Cincinnati has ever had. Unfortunately, ran into a buzzsaw one day here on King of Bowling. He has retained that acknowledgement for years.
Something that doesn't pass too quickly.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. He's done everything there is to do. Eddie's shoulders are broad as they come. I'm sure he can handle it.
10-pin standing for Roy Chesbro in the fourth frame.
One of the first weak 10s he's left this decade.
And it doesn't stand for long. Might want to mention that the winner today, the King, will take home $750 as usual. And as you see right now, we're almost midway through game number 2. Greg Lothian
enjoying a 10-pin lead. Greg Lothian, strike up. If he does not strike, we've got an even match. But right lane's treated him awfully nicely so far. Pitcher concentration.
Come on,
pays off.
To the wall and then takes out 2.
I'll tell you what, let's take a look at this. Tommy, this is great. Everyone, concentrate on the center pin, the head pin. Watch it go to the left of your screen, right there, come off. Does a hacksaw job into the 5-pin. Hi-ya! And the neck takes out the 7 as it goes by. The 5-pin gangs up on a 2. That's what you want to see, pin action.
This is going to be interesting should Lothian meet the King, Kim Herman. And it's not only a match between bowlers, but a battle of the crowds, too.
Identical shot to last frame, however, the head pin missed the 7-pin by a margin so slim that it even wiggled. Greg Lothian enjoys a 9-pin lead. Nothing in the BPA King of Bowling. 9 pins can disappear with 1 shot.
And he takes out the 7. So we're halfway through the Greg Lothian-Roy Chesbro match. This is game number 2. The winner goes on to meet the King. When we come back, we'll finish game 2 and then show you that championship match.
Cincinnati has always had a reputation for brewing great beers, and part of this continuing tradition is Hudie Gold. Brewed by Hudipole, America's great small brewery, Hudie Gold is a pure, natural, traditional beer made to the high standards that Cincinnati beer drinkers have demanded for decades. A special gold standard set by Cincinnati for Cincinnati. Try the best quality beer in its class, and remember, nothing is as good as gold. Hudie Gold.
Nothing but diamonds, diamonds by the ounce. Nothing but diamonds, diamond coolers, wild, wild berry, citrus with a twist, passion punch, stirred up just right.
Taste a Diamond Wine Cooler, California white wine and natural fruit flavors in your favorite sizes.
Nothing but diamonds, diamond coolers.
This fine select beer is Christian Moorline. It is made with a quite remarkable skill, a result of years of experience, exceptional ingredients, and above all, the care, patience, and pride only a small brewery can provide. These traditional virtues mean you may pay a little more, but the price is small for the unique experience of Christian Moorline. Christian Moorline. Quite simply, a better beer.
So midway through game number 2, Greg Lothian holding a 9-pin lead over Roy Chesbro. We're at Delfair Lanes. I'm Tom Verotto along with Dave Newrath and Bo Hudipole and Mr. Roy Chesbro in the 5th frame. 39-year-old bowling for the last 22 years, starting to show in shots like that, Dave.
Don't count him out too often. Struck every time on the right lane, left lane, went Brooklyn. Next frame, week 10. I got $1. Says this one's a strike.
Well, since no one else will take you up on it, okay.
You're on. Okay. That's a fairly safe bet for this man.
He's gone strike, spare, strike, spare, strike. Now let's see how he does.
Yeah, all right. Get my
I'll take it in quarters, Dave. I don't care.
Quarters.
It's the left lane.
We sign an IOU.
It gets to the point, Dave, where does it get to be a mental thing then? Or
that's all it's got to be. Roy Chesbro has the ball. He's got the talent to overcome a lane that's a little difficult. I think the TV lights and the fact that he went Brooklyn once, which he hardly ever does, has got him confused. But he's still only 9 pins down. Greg Lothian make a critical mistake by not capitalizing on Roy's weak start, because he always finishes a game. Of course, he always figures out the left lane, too, before now, so I don't know.
Boy, and if you ever had to have a strike, this frame for Greg Lothian was the frame to do it in.
Okay, he maintains the 9-pin lead. What he's done now is give himself the potential to make it 19. He's about to throw on the lane where he finished the first game with 3 crushing strikes. Greg Lothian wants this one.
Come on, baby!
It's close.
Nice.
Okay, let's take a look at the reaction and the ball on this shot. What a shot it was. Super execution. Look at him just gritting his teeth there. He likes it. Let's root it home, Greg. Yes, it was perfect.
Pretty much stoic throughout the match, though. He doesn't get into too much cheering. He lets his fans do it.
Believe me, the man inside of him has got enough emotion for 10 normal people. It's controlling that emotion at his early age that impresses me to no end, Tom. He just has done a super job, his attitude and his emotion.
Roy Chesbro with the strike, and Dave, Roy's going to have to get on the horse and do something now.
Well, he's looking at 20 pins right now. He's in the well for 20. That's 2 marks, basically. If you get a little help from your opponent and you throw some strikes, you can make it up. But Roy Chesbro has yet to throw a good shot on the left lane. Consistent.
And now he crawls in a hole that he's going to have some trouble digging out.
Bo, at one time you were one of the better lady bowlers in this city, and I tell you what, I'm sure you've come up on this thing too, where one lane just gets you buffaloed.
Certainly, sometimes you have to make either a slight adjustment as to where you're going to spot on the lane or how far out you're going to throw the ball or where you're going to place your feet, and I don't think Roy has found that adjustment yet.
Boy, that's exactly right, and believe me, all the lanes are conditioned identically. Now, they do change in varying degrees, okay? That is a distinct possibility and a reality in the game of bowling. But Greg Lothian is not playing these two. Look at Roy. He says, I can't believe this. Where is my mind? It happens, Roy.
Greg Lothian breaks the string of strikes, ends it at 2.
Well, his opponent, you know, opens Tommy What's that going to do? You've mentioned to it, or alluded to it in past weeks. He let up a little bit. Did not throw that ball with the authority that Greg Lothian is so well known for.
But he takes the 2-pin out. Bo, this week we're at Delfair. Next week they're already qualifying at Kingpin.
That's correct.
The week after, then we go up to Harrison, Ohio.
We will be at Harrison Bowl qualifying next Saturday and Sunday, and with a full line of shifts and a special shift for the ladies again.
But that's next week. Right now, Greg Lothian was a 216 to 162 winner over Roy Chesbro, setting up the match we've all been waiting for. King Kim Herman against Greg Lothian. All that coming up next on Hudipol's King of Bowling.
It is the season for Ludwig Hudipol Bock beer. Every spring, the resources of America's great small brewery are devoted to Ludwig Hudipol, a true Bock beer. Rich, smooth, dark. Made from deep-roasted barley, matured without haste. It appears all too briefly, and then it is gone. Try it while you can. Ludwig Hudipol Bock beer.
The better beers of Hudipol, Hudipol.
Just one more testimonial for Grippo potato chips.
When you compare Ford Ranger and Chevy S10 to the new two-wheel drive Jeep Comanche, you'll find they're priced about the same. Yet Comanche has the most powerful standard engine, the longest wheelbase, biggest wheels and tires, highest ground clearance, and the largest optional payload capacity. In fact, the more you compare Comanche, the more you'll see there is no comparison.
See your Cincinnati's very best AMC Jeep Renault dealers.
How do I show what makes Hudi Delight one of the best light beers in America? That's a tough one. I wish I could show all the care that goes into the brewing. How Delight is specially crafted. A whole lot less calories. Kept its own unique beer taste. Taste, boy, I could do it the Delight right now. Refreshing, sparkling delight. Here it comes. Ah, to the pure delight of Hudi Delight.
A great light beer from America's great small brewery.
The King and the Queen. Kim Herman on your left, Linda Lally on your right. Kim Herman.
Look
King,
at those eyes. Ooh.
The first 3 weeks will defend it one more time against Greg Lothian, who is at the line right now. Lothian a winner in games 1 and 2 today. Number 1 over David Moses, 228 to 214. Number 2 over Roy Chesbro, 216 to 162. And Dave, the rafters will be shaking with the crowd that Greg Lothian and Herman's Hermits here today at Delfair.
It's going to be a match. You can bet on it. It's going to be. Not only is it going to be a contest on the lanes, it's a contest on the concourse as to whose fans are going to be the loudest.
30-year-old plumber from Cincinnati, Ohio, Kim Herman. This is the first week he hasn't started with a strike.
Do you think maybe Kim's intimidated?
In the back.
He's bowled 3 games this year. Scores 256, 239, and 267. Not too dusty.
I love it. Not too dusty. How about great, awesome, impressive?
But he's trying to do something that... first of all, he's trying to make the spare. Right. Secondly, he's trying to do something that we haven't seen in a while on the BPA, and that is to win the kingship 4 straight weeks.
How long has it been since we've seen one of those? 2, 3, 4 years, maybe?
Hasn't been 2. I've been here 2, and they haven't. Tucky Perez had won it 3 straight, and George Barlow 3 straight last year, but 4 straight.
Well, I know
I wouldn't even take a guess.
Dave Newkirk has the record with 10 times.
Oh, that's way back when I was still young.
In the 70s.
All the way back then? In the 70s.
Dave Newkirk living back in town again.
Well, now he's back on track. Delfair Lane never have been this loud before, but they may in the coming weeks with the tournament that they have coming up, Bo.
Yes, the Delphi Lanes, in conjunction with the main entrance lounge, will present the March Open on March 22nd, and this is a singles event. They're going to guarantee $1,500 for first place, and I think they can call Shirley over here at Delphi for these details.
Greg Lothian, second frame, and there's the 10.
There you go. I mean, it's nothing quiets them down quicker than a weak 10 or a spare or something that takes the enthusiasm out of the next shot. This game is a great, great game. Bowling's been around forever. It's the largest public participation sport in America, and the fans are participating today, too.
And some people do it even as well as Greg Lothian does it. So, strike spare for Lothian, spare strike for Herman. Third frame, Greg Lothian.
It's a game of concentration. It's a game of enthusiasm. It's a game of control. This man's got it all. Greg Lothian, third frame, spare working.
Crushing it off the wall, Dave.
Let's take a look at it here on the replay. The enthusiasm's in his face. Head pin again, center your screen. Watch it go to the left and then come back. Round trip ticket, kicks the 4 into the 5. Neck of it kicks the 7 out. That's the way you keep the pins down. That's the way you do it.
Pin action, Dave, would you call it?
I like his new term, round trip ticket.
Oh, that was, without a doubt, the worst ball Kim Herman has thrown this year.
Well, Bo, you've seen it 100 times before. Conditioning, conditions, and mental condition. You got to take all three into effect. Looks like today Kim Herman is having a little more trouble than usual, but we've seen him finish strong so many times.
I still think that he's
super shot with authority. With authority, Dave. Boy, the way Greg Lothian is rolling them, if Herman left any of those pins standing, it could have been over. It could have been, the way Lothian is just taking tremendous amount of momentum from the people he brought here today, people who showed up to support him, and when it gets down to the battle of fans, it's who cheers the loudest.
That's right, it's a toss-up, but that charged him back up again. A great shot, a super shot to make your spare, come back with it. Let's see if he can capitalize on the enthusiasm right now. Oh boy, a little bit high, leaving the 6 pin. Could have been a strike, could have been a split. He'll take it.
You know, yesterday at the tournament site, Kim Herman came out and bowled a couple shifts over at Kingpin, and he didn't seem quite as aggressive, you know, and sure of himself as he has been. And I don't know if maybe this match between Greg and Herman all week, you know, anticipating it, could have maybe set him back a little bit today on his concentration.
That is possible, Bo. You know, you might dwell on something. I don't think Kim is necessarily afraid of matching any one ball for ball, but in anticipation of it, going after a record, you know, his 4th week and everything, maybe a total of everything just kind of cropped up, or maybe he's got some other things on his mind. You never know.
Well, that still doesn't make him any different. He is a tremendous person, a tremendous bowler. Whoops.
Greg Lothian leaving the 10 pin.
Looks there, a little emotion we were alluding to.
Yeah.
Greg's got it. Hey, he keeps himself under control, but let me tell you something. He is a boiler inside. He gets excited, he gets aggressive, and that's why he's good. It's controlling, it's the secret.
You have a good point there. You let emotion get the best of you, it'll wreck your game. Lothian with the 10-pin spare here in the 4th frame. Kim Herman, nothing he could do right now. Just planning the strategy when he finally gets back to the line. 1 strike for Kim Herman in 4 frames.
I've got a term for you, David.
Okay.
And Tom, I don't know if you've ever heard this, spare a life and strike out cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard this before?
Yeah. Well, I bow on that every year, Bo, when it comes around. Great cause. I try to support all the ones I can, and that's one of my tops.
Well, that's happening starting this week, February the 15th through the 23rd, at area bowling centers throughout the city.
Look out
7-10.
what has happened to Greg Lothian here. He has opened the door about as wide as you can for Kim Herrmann. Crashing right through the heart, leaving the 7-10. Now watch this ball. This is going to be a rocket. He didn't throw it as hard as he normally does.
Take a look at the score now with Lothian and the open frame. Dave, you don't give Kim Herrmann a break like this at all.
No, you do not. What he's done is given Mr. Herrmann a potential 12-pin lead.
There's a certain camaraderie among bowlers. But when Lothian left the 7-10, a big smile crept over Kim Herrmann's face.
It's only understandably so, Tom. He did not strike. Big break for Greg Lothian. As it is, the lead will be 11 pins if he strikes in the 6th frame. Getting around that 10-pin critical, which is 1 mark. Match play bowling, 1 mark is nothing.
The 3-pin is no longer standing. Now, Lothian pretty much has to make a move right here, Dave. Herman, Lothian has opened the door. Herman is going to have to do something now. Get the foot inside.
You've got that right. It's about time to get things started. You know, what are you going to do? You have to get things cranked up. You have to get on your game and execute a few shots.
Kim Herrmann in the 6th frame. Needs a strike. Oh,
look at this.
Wow.
Turnaround is fair play. You take it. I don't want it.
I guess after a shot like that, all you can do is laugh because, oh boy.
7-9. Not a good shot in the pocket. The ball did not roll off. Looks like a perfect time to talk about the boat to me. A couple of splits.
After a shot like that, I think Kim Herrmann wants to take. Oh.
We're not going to give a boat away this week, but I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen pretty soon, I believe. Jimmers Marine is sponsoring, well, they're going to give away an $11,000 boat. You and the BPA and everybody made it happen. You wanted to see it at home. We've given the extra incentive to shoot that perfect 300 match. The closest so far, 269 by Darrell Higgins.
Boy, Lothian obviously capitalizing on the open frame by Kim Herrmann.
What we've got is a 2-pin game. There you see it, Tom and Bo. 2 pins. Greg Lothian has the lead. He's got the hammer.
You know, talking about 300s, last time, or the first and only time we've had a 300 rolled was at Stones Lanes, where Greg Lothian actually works, the ball shop. It was rolled by Bob Dieters, March 30th, 1975.
Long time in between.
But there's going to be another one this year. We want to give a boat away.
Yes, we do.
9 pins going through the heart on that shot. Both bowlers having difficulty lining up. What we might be seeing is what's known in the business as a little bit of travel. Sometimes the oil will move around on the lanes, and the bowlers, if you don't keep up with it, it'll get the best of you.
Kim Herrmann pretty much knows what he needs now, Dave. Something he hasn't been able to do much in this game. Let's see, 1 strike. 1 strike is all Kim Herrmann has had today, and you don't become king, well, for 4 weeks running by getting only 1 strike in a match.
That's right. He's already well under the pace of his lowest game so far on our show.
By the way, that low game is 239.
Let's take a look.
254.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's the way he does it, but let's take a look here. Why aren't the pins going down? Let's take a look at it right here. His ball is going to take a little jump from the center right here off to the left. Watch it deflect right there. See it finishing way to the left? It's not got the drive and the authority on it that we've seen in past weeks. The ball does not go through and take out the 5 with any kind of authority, and the 5 normally gets the 10 pin.
So the 10 pin goes down.
2 pins. Greg Lothian, still our leader. Both spares in the 7th frame. For all intensive purposes, this match is tied up.
Kim Herrmann, king for 3 weeks running. trying to make it 4, something, as we said earlier in the show, no one has done in a long, long time. Averaging 254 in 3 games this year.
I don't know what he's smiling about. Did you see that?
Yeah. He must have an ace up his sleeve. Boy, on the right lane, he leaves the 10. On the left lane, the 7.
You know, we're seeing something here, ladies and gentlemen, and I wonder if you picked it up. He threw that ball much straighter. Good tip for the people at home. If you're having trouble with your normal arc or your normal line on the lane, try to go a little more direct. Take something off the ball, straighten your arm swing out a little bit, and go more at the pocket. Sometimes you can bypass the travel on the lane by just cutting down the degree of hook. That time the ball didn't finish, so that's the secret. Cutting the hook down but still making it roll.
You know, to be effective, though, that making the adjustments that you're talking about, David, I think if you go out and practice and do a little open bowling, you'll
How about a lot of open bowling?
Yeah, a lot of open bowling, really. And, you know, that's where you learn how to make these adjustments.
Yes.
It doesn't happen while you're bowling in league.
Oh, no.
You don't learn it in league. Although, I mean, you can, but it's just it's a little more effective going out and playing a few more games.
The reaction way of putting 10 pins down, but Greg Lothian at this point will take it.
Tom, let's take a look at it. You alluded to it before. The control on the ball, the control of the emotion. Watch this ball control the head pin to the wall. Now it carries through. Just nips the 5. Comes off the wall. What are we looking at? 5-7? Not anymore.
That's because the head pin works overtime.
Head pin works overtime. It's got a lot of spin on it. Greg Lothian's in the driver's seat with one more strike.
Boy, when he needed them, he's getting them.
Back to back, we saw 2 great shots. Not 10 in the pit, but we saw the ball sawing some lumber down. That was it. Critical 9th frame. He's got it set up. Kim Herrmann can do absolutely nothing to win if Greg Lothian strikes out. But his job right now to force him to do that is to get this strike.
Boy, you know, some days it just doesn't pay to get out of bed. Herman has had a strike in the 2nd frame, and everything else has been spares except the deadly open in the 6th frame. Kim Herman, not indicative of the way we're accustomed to seeing him bowl.
Exactly not. You have to contend with a lot of factors in this game of bowling, just like any individualized sport, Tom. It's a muscle memory game. Right now, his muscles aren't remembering quite as well as they should.
Boom, boom, boom.
But he's shown us what he can do in the past. Doesn't take anything away from him. Just today, he doesn't seem to have it. Situation is this: if he strikes out in the 10th, 11th, and 12th frames, he can finish with a 193. Greg Lothian is at a 217 pace.
Whoa, he puts the arms up in the air and says, finally, finally the pins are listening to me. A strike for Kim Herman. The smile, I have to give it to him, has been there the whole day. He knows he'll be back.
That's for sure.
Might as well take a chance while we have a chance as Kim gets ready to roll here. Cincinnati, another honor bestowed upon it, bowling-wise, Bo.
That's for sure. We in Cincinnati are going to host the 60th Ohio Women's Bowling Association State Championship Tournament, the first time in 30-plus years. It's closer to 40 years. Coleraine Bowl, one of our members, is going to host the team event. And the singles and doubles will be at Brentwood Bowl, who will also have the Champion of Champions tournament this year. One thing I know, they let me know that they need score markers. Anybody that wants to earn a little extra money, they can go out and mark score for this tournament while it's in Cincinnati.
Sharpen those pencils and get out there.
That's right. And they also want ladies to sub. You know, somebody wants to bowl in a tournament, doesn't bowl in a team, but would like to bowl in the tournament. They can take your name and call Joanne Blazer at 681-BOWL, and she will certainly be glad to set you up.
Let's hope it's a great turnout. 30-odd years is a long time not to have a tournament like this.
There's 2,682 ladies teams competing this year. 2,682.
Don't go away. Don't count Mr. Kim Herman out. There's only one way he can win, and that's for Greg Lothian to throw a 5 count or less. Now you can count it out.
You're looking at the king of bowling for week number 4 on Hudipol's TV King, Greg Lothian, 22-year-old sales manager at the ball shops.
Does Greg's followers have a name yet?
I think it was Lothian's Legions.
Ooh.
We've got a writer doing this stuff for us now.
In any event, we will see Lothian's Legions at Kingpin's Lanes next week up on Beachmont Avenue in Cherry Grove. That was the greatest bit of emotion we've seen thus far. Tossing the rosin bag down. Lothian here. Off the spare.
A great champion.
A big clap of the hands, a shake of the hands. You're seeing King for week number 4, Greg Lothian, shaking hands with King for weeks number 1, 2, and 3, Kim Herman. You're seeing it right there by 10 pins. Greg Lothian, the champ, in the championship game, 193 to 183. When we come back, we'll give out the checks on week 4 of Hudipol's King of Bowling.
Seit mehr als 400 Jahren wird in Deutschland der Standard für die höchste Bierqualität festgesetzt. Dieses Bierstandardgesetz nennt man Reinheitsgebot. Viele berühmte Biere haben das nie erreicht. Ein amerikanisches Bier hat es jetzt geschafft. Das Bier heißt Christian Mörlein aus Cincinnati, Ohio. Christian Mörlein ist ein Bier von Weltruf. Prost, Christian Mörlein.
Back at week 4, payoff here at Delfair Lanes. You said at the top of the show we're going to see some exciting bowling, and we did.
That's right. We passed out some exciting checks already, Tom, but the big story today, Greg Lothian.
Yes, it was. You know, winning the kingship is one thing. Beating Kim Herman is a totally other. You had to be a little satisfied today, Greg.
Very satisfied, thanks to the break in the 9th frame.
9th frame break, check for $750, a plaque from the BPA, and the King of Bowling for week number 4, and come back and see us next week in week number 5. And in week number 5, we'll be at Kingpin Lanes over in Cherry Grove. So until that time, for Bo Hudipol, Dave Newrath, I'm Tom Verrado saying join us next week for Hudipol's TV King of Bowling.
Hudipol, King of Bowling.